The Middle East, historically the most popular tourist destination. The marketing alone is to die for. That's why today we're playing as the Quasi-Meat state. But the real question is, can we transform this country of illiterate savages into a modern state with a functioning nuclear program, ruled by illiterate savages? Let's find out. And we are ruled by our Imam, Al-Mansur Ali Al-Qasim, and he is determined to bring about the most moderate of politics. Alright guys, you know me, I read the comments, and you always say things like, oh, it's always one extreme or the other. However, I can't have comments about extremism in a video about the Middle East. The algorithm will eat me alive. So today we're going to take the good laws, like professional army. And for all other decision making, I'm going to consult the greatest American president, George Bush.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
You're goddamn right, George. I'll destroy all of our enemies, or ourselves. Either way, I'll never give them the satisfaction. Economy-wise, we can start with some coffee. Once we get access to the sea, we can export it to the world market. Hey, wait a minute, why is liquor expensive? Is it because of these 20 drunk British tourists? Because I'm gonna tell you, our religion is the shit! Which means we don't use lowly items such as liquor or wine. Finally, the sea. We should continue invading the Middle East. I'm confident that's what George Bush would have wanted. Literally meeting no resistance. That's how you know we're the good guys. And finally, we can establish Yemen. Crap. Hejaz seems to own a bit of our province, and they are an Egyptian protectorate who can very easily kick our ass. But I will not let that intimidate us. What do you say, George?
Not one doubt in my mind that we will fail.
Oh, alright then. I guess we can fix our economy instead. It seems that we're lacking wood. Now I'm not sure what this wood is made of. Personally, I've never seen wood. But the Russians have a lot of wood, so that will definitely help. That's right, we're going to sign the Russian Friendship Agreement and trade in a boatload of stuff I've never seen before. And this unprecedented agreement managed to slash our construction costs in half. Such is the power of wood. And finally we can start exporting some of our black liquid. Oh man, I'm so excited I can invade. Oh man, they back down. Nice. Now of course I rivaled all of our neighbors. You guys know what they say, you can take a Balkan man out of the Balkans, but you can never take the Balkan foreign policy out of the Balkan man. This of course makes it far more likely that Hejaz will join against us in a diplomatic play, giving us the golden opportunity to destroy them without involving Egypt. Alright, well, they didn't join. It seems that we got fooled into declaring war on our neighbors. But you guys know what they say.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
That's right, we can't get fooled again. It's time for us to declare war on Bahrain. Wait a minute, they just gave up. Quickly, we have to defend. Okay, well... unfortunately, we were too slow. I guess I have no choice. We have to attack Jabal Shamar. It is impossible for us to get fooled again. I'm sure of it. God damn it. I have no idea what I did wrong. Well, it seems I have much to learn. To the boats. Alright, well, this victory will be easy. However, we still have to form Yemen. Somehow. And you guys know what they say. You're not gonna fight me today. You're not gonna fight me tomorrow. But you're gonna have to fight me at some point, before I go bankrupt, which is a great saying and all, but we still have to sell out to Austria. We just really need the money, and I'm willing to give anything they want. We're also going to make a good deal with Persia. You guys know what they say, if you want to avoid bankruptcy, you have to sell out. Oh my god, a child? Alright guys, you know me, I love children. I just have to guarantee his independence and take all of his lunch money. Can you imagine how terrible it would be if I don't get the money? Terrible. I would never be able to forgive myself. Hey, wait a minute, I can just ask for money, even though it's 100% of this man's entire country's income. He's willing to just give it to me because it's 400 bucks. I guess we can call it charity? That means the child fooled me. But that's alright, I'll never be fooled again. It's impossible. It's time for me to start begging for money. That's certainly one way to pay off all my debt. It's kind of hilarious how all the Western countries would refuse a deal for billions and billions of pounds because they don't wanna pay $100, which is literally nothing for them. But all the undeveloped countries are willing to just throw money at you for no reason at all. And now we can put the peasants in the government and abolish serfdom, as per our moderate ideology. And by privatizing everything, we managed to fill up our coffers very quickly. Oh man, I just have to invade them again. There's no other way. Now this goes without saying, but these isolated African tribes won't be able to stop us. They didn't even show up. Finally, we have access to vital resources, such as wood. And other stuff I've never seen before. Nice. Legislative failure, moderate balls. I guess we can enact a classic moderate policy of racial segregation. Also, East Asia is full of countries who are willing to give me all of their money in exchange for an obligation. I'll take them all. Just look at these money transfers. You can definitely call me Switzerland. Except don't, because these guys are extremely neutral. And I don't like extremism of any kind. Racism simple, the moderate choice. Hey, you guys remember how George Bush passed a law where it stated that if any American soldier was tried in the International Court of Human Rights, the American military must invade the Netherlands. Yeah, I can't invade the Netherlands, but I'm definitely looking for other options. Haha, escaping to Argentina. The poor man's Hague Invasion Act. I mean, I'm not planning anything, but you can never be too safe. Oh, what terrible timing. My soldiers just left. Also, the Brothers' War is happening, and Russia's involved everywhere. Classic Russia. We managed to land, and now for my favorite magic trick. Expectum Patronum. What? You guys know me, I grew up with Harry Potter and the war in Iraq. Great show, you should definitely watch it. Alright, and now we have a safe haven from all these evil international court people. Also, Egypt is getting their asses whooped. Well, you know what they say, kick 'em while they're down. Oh crap, the war ended and they're starting to get back up. That's not good. Alright, I know this looks bad, but it's nothing a couple of naval invasions can't fix. And the 1 naval invasion, and the 2 naval invasion, and the 3 naval invasion. Hey, what just happened? Why are we only occupying 18%? I mean, we're winning, so I guess I'll take it. Finally, we are victorious and we control all the territory necessary to create the glorious country of Yemen. And this gives us claims all the way to West Sahara, which is rightful Yemenis clay. And definitely not extremism, isn't that right, George?
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Yeah, see that? No extremism found. Just like Argentina. Okay, bad example. Moving on. And we're the 16th country, which makes us into a minor power. We should celebrate by enacting something moderate, such as agrarianism. Alright, you guys know me, I love wood. However, we've discovered something even better. Iron. Look at the construction go up, which is moderately amazing. It's time for a brand new and moderately exciting deal with Austria. We'll sell them a bunch of our grain, and in exchange we'll get a plethora of new stuff I've never seen before. Hey, wait a minute, why are we getting corn laws? Oh no, the price of grain shot up, which is bad, because now we have to buy 6,000 pounds worth of grain, but when we sell it in Austria, we're only getting 4,000 pounds. And I'm sad to say this, but my economy simply can't take it. Luckily for me, the Russians are always willing to sell their grain. I'll take it. And now we only spent 2,500 buccarinos for grain, but we're still selling it at the Austrian market price of 4,000, which is moderately good for us. Now that's how you run an economy. Alright, it's time to involve the United States in the Middle East. Also, I'm having trouble passing my law. Oh, come on. The landowners are now against it, just because I invited the Americans. Classic Middle Eastern politics. The Great Middle Eastern War 2? Electric Boogaloo? Alright guys, this is a perfect opportunity for us to take our rightful land in Egypt and finish them once and for all. Alternatively, I can cosplay as George Bush and invade Iraq. Tell me guys, what would you have done in this situation? Finally, a moderate reform. We should definitely wait for a decade before we attempt another one. For now, we shall invade Iraq defensively in a special military operation which we'll call something like Operation Desert Shield or something defensive like that. Alright, we got all of our war goals. All we have to do now is defend defensively. Unlike the Russians, who are definitely struggling at this whole defending thing. The war is over, oh boy, here they come. I'm gonna be honest, this one was pretty close. However, we are victorious, and we nearly earned our recognition. We should definitely celebrate by enacting something moderate, such as per capita taxation. Unfortunately, we have too many extremist policies, which will slowly eat away at our recognition progress. See that, kids? Extremism. Bad. Now we'll try to offset this by getting an embassy from Austria. This will definitely help in the long run. Now obviously we need to find more grain for the Austrian market, and who better than the Chinese? They're so good at not starving, it's truly admirable. A tax system that disproportionately targets the poor. The moderate choice of taxation. Now we have to remove some of these extremist policies. It's also time to expand in Argentina. Finally, we managed to abolish serfdom. What we need now is to open the border moderately. Argentina back down. Nice. Now we need to fix the economy by importing a boatload of stuff from Prussia. Just look at the construction costs go down. And it seems that wood is one of our biggest expense. Hello Russia, I'm here for your wood, which is my favorite Russian thing. These massive deals definitely fix the economy. I think. I'm not actually an economist or anything. Hey, wait a minute, the Prussians are buying back their iron. That's kind of odd. I guess we need more construction sectors to raise the local price. Oh no, we need a lot more fabrics now. That's alright, I know a guy. And now it's time for us to sign the oil deal. Getting more fabrics, wood, and oil from America. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Is it a good idea to constantly import everything into your own market? Will that not stifle your economy and increase the deficit? I don't know. What say you, George?
There would have been a deficit, but there wouldn't have been the commensurate, the kick to our economy.
Yeah, see that, guys? We're just gonna kick the economy whilst we're getting more moderate. It's perfect. And of course, we have to start colonializing. Are we about to be recognized as a great power or what? This is a huge step for our nation. Now we can cut off the British in Africa and populate Argentina. Or maybe not. Anyway, we're gonna cut off the British. And now we shall establish a presidential republic. And the Americans are going to help us with that. Please ignore the two setbacks. It's nothing. We shall also update our Russian friendship deal so they can give us an embassy. And the oil deal will also net us one more. And we can get one more embassy from the French. Meaning that we shall finally start generating positive progress. And it will take us 200 months to get recognized, which is a pretty moderate pace. Exactly what I was looking for. Oh no, the Egyptians are in the Russian sphere of influence. That's pretty bad. However, if we attack Tripolitania, Egypt would most likely join them in a diplomatic play, allowing us to defeat them without having to fight Russia. I know we've tried this before. Remember guys, if you get fooled once, you can't get fooled again. It's impossible. We can also invite Spain, and they want whatever is left of Tripolitania. That sounds fair enough. Now of course our military has advanced greatly, and we're going to need stuff like Vitka or something. Luckily for us, the Russians are always willing to provide military support. Alright Egypt, get out of my rightful land of Egyptian desert and Upper Egypt. Now we did have to circumvent an entire continent, but here we go. The Spanish are definitely helping. I mean, they are getting Tripolitania, so it's only fair. And everything else is already cored Yemeni's territory. That's how you know we're the good guys. Speaking of good guy invasions, we have to invade the Ottoman Empire, so we can humiliate them in front of everyone, which is clearly the good guy thing to do. Even the Russians are in on it, and they would never do anything bad. They've always championed moderate ideologies, moderately. Well, you guys know what they say, easy peasy squeeze the lemons out of the Ottomans. That's a pretty common saying. You know, it's kinda like, if you want money, you have to get in the Chinese market. You know what? That sounds like a great idea. As the British and the Chinese are fighting, we can make a big deal with the Chinese. Alright, now I know what you guys are thinking. Do we actually produce that many shirts, opium, and all the other stuff? No, We practically live in the desert and we have almost no economy. However, in order to avoid bankruptcy, we're gonna get all these stuff from the British. Because we're no longer playing the Middle East, now we're playing the middleman. That's right, our economy is entirely based of the difference between buying things for the Chinese market and selling them in the Chinese market, which is very profitable. Personally, I would close my eyes to any atrocities happening in China, as long as I can keep the money flowing. Just give me a minute, I vastly underestimated the amount of convoys we're going to need. Alright, unfortunately, we managed to accumulate a lot of interest. Also, we're paying 30,000 more buccarinos for shirts than the amount we sell them for. That's right, our economy is perfectly tied to the price of shirt. But that's alright, I'm willing to transform this featureless desert into a sweatshop servicing the mighty Chinese market, which, in case you're wondering, is the moderate way of running the economy. And we have a brand new Imam, Abdallah Al-Qazim, a democratic child. Alright, we managed to fix our shirt discrepancy, because we're selling them for 106,000. But we're buying them for only 99,000. The economy is finally looking up. Alright, we can finally get a company, and we shall establish the generic textile one. Are we a sweatshop state or what? Legislative graveyard, sweaty moderate balls. Alright then, thanks to our democratic imam, we shall establish census suffrage. Oh man, this is so moderate, I just have to invade Iraq one more time. Alright Ottomans, it's time for a fair and gentlemanly 1v1. I don't care that you have 2 broken kneecaps, that's irrelevant. And with this final invasion of Iraq, we managed to achieve almost straight borders. Exactly what the Middle East needed. Alright, literate men get the vote, and the Conservative Party managed to win by a landslide. And it has a market liberal, Democrat, and 2 traditionalists. Now that's the Conservative Party I'm talking about. We should definitely get unregulated markets, the moderate choice. Oh my god, the Americans have recognized us as a real country. Thank you, George Bush, I owe you big time. This drastically lowered our interest rate, saving the economy. Finally, I can pursue my dream, my true passion of transforming the Middle East into the fashion capital of the world. That's right, with French patronage, we're mainly producing designer clothes, and we're almost a great power. See that, guys? Having a moderate pace of development works. The Americans are offering to guarantee our independence as long as we safeguard their business interest in the Middle East. Classic America-Middle East relations. The economic reforms are done. Now what do you think, guys? Should we teach the peasants reading? I don't know. Let me ask George Bush.
You teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass a literacy test.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's do it. Also, with the new shirt production method, we're now the 2nd largest producers of clothes. I mean, that kinda tanked the price, but I'm sure it'd be fine. The Free Trade Party managed to win. I don't think I've ever seen them win before. Well, that's new and exciting. Also, we're a great power now. And I'm going to be honest, I would have never made it this far if it wasn't for the ever-prevailing wisdom of George Bush. Thank you, George. We're also going to sign a defensive pact with Spain. Finally, reading. And it's also time for us to ban slavery. Come on, America, help me ban slavery, and I'll buy a boatload of your terribly overpriced cotton. Why did you raise the price so much? It's somewhat ridiculous, but I'll take it, so I can achieve true moderation in our nation. And we managed to research pan-nationalism, which means we can finally unify all of Arabia. And of course, we have to form the Arab League. The rest of the world might not like it, but this is a power block that exists now. Alright, let us unite all of Arabia in a moderate war against the Ottomans. God damn it, the British got involved, and now we have a great war on our hands. But that's alright, for I have a moderate plan of action. First, we shall take back our rightful lands in Egypt, unite public sentiment in undisputed elections, have a surprise naval invasion in Tunis, establish control in the entire Arabian Peninsula, unify with the Russian front, knock out the Ottomans and Persia from the war. The British will soon lose all hope of winning, and we'll be home by Ramadan. I can feel it. Hey, wait a minute, why are we losing? Oh no, they have only one war goal on us and force money transfer, which means they win as long as they occupy one of our province. That's fine guys, we're going to have a daring naval invasion in Africa, push out the British out of the entire continent, and then we can knock out the Ottomans and the Persians out of the war. Whew, that was a close one. We'll be home by Ramadan guys, this time for real. Also, we failed to ban slavery, but that's fine, I'm sure we'll get to it at some point in the near future. For now, we should get appointed bureaucrats. Alright, now I know what you guys are thinking. Our fourth Hamadan offensive failed. However, I have complete confidence that the fifth Hamadan offensive will break through the enemy lines, knock out Persia and the Ottomans out of the war, and we'll be home by Ramadan. Obviously. Look at the reforms go. Now I know what you guys are thinking. The 19th Hamadan offensive didn't work out for us. However, I am confident that the 20th Hamadan offensive will break through the enemy lines, knock out Persia and the Ottomans out of the war, and we'll be home by Ramadan. Promise. Even more elections. And it seems that everyone is quite united, which means we have to attempt to ban slavery. One more time. Military strategy? Oh my god, that's exactly what we've been missing. Alright guys, we're gonna give extra supplies to our troops, provide them with an even more effective training, and begin the 57th Hamadan offensive. This time, we're going to break the enemy lines, knock out Persia and the Ottomans out of the war, and be home by Ramadan. Also, come on Russia, you're embarrassing me. Put your back into it. A white piece? Are you kidding me? Just look at the enemy losses. We've practically already won. Why are you expecting me to sign this? What am I, an idiot? Machine guns? Finally! This will definitely help in our 69th Hamadan offensive, which is finally going our way. The Ottomans capitulated. All we have to do now is knock out the Persians. And we've won. We capitulated. Oh no! No one had a war go on us. Crap! 12 million casualties and the border barely moved. Classic Great War. And it's all because of the Russian incompetence. Oh, now you're gonna put the helmet on. Alright, that's it. No more friendship agreements. No more wood. No more military supplies. It's time for us to reclaim our rightful land from the Egyptian occupiers and their Russian puppet masters. Alright boys, keep the casualties under 1 million. This time. Now our forces are a little bit split because Peru-Bolivia decided to join, but we're going to crush this Egyptian puppet state and be home by Ramadan. Also, our defensive pact with Spain is no longer necessary, and we're absolutely crushing them because all of our soldiers have graduated from the George Bush dodging dojo, which simply makes them unstoppable. Legislative failure, I'm sorry guys, but we will have to continue importing migrant workers, stealing their passports, shove them in abhorrent living conditions, and forcing them to work in the blistering heat for practically no pay. But hey, as long as no one talks about it, I don't care. We should definitely get a police force, just in case. This does mean we have to withdraw from our American cotton agreement, but instead we're going to get even more cotton, iron and steel in exchange for tools I got from the Prussians. It's almost the same thing as banning slavery. Probably. The Conservative Party managed to win, although the politics seem to have changed. Classic Conservative Party. We're importing so much cotton from the Americans, we're starting to export it. This definitely helps our textile industries. And just look at that, trade surplus. See that guys? Being the middleman is a great way to become top exporter economy. Unlike failed states such as Spain, France or Austria. Finally, a police force, and the Prussians are going to solve the Schleswig-Holstein question. Denmark backs down, and now Prussia will transform into... Wait a minute. I guess Austria managed to win the Brothers' War from a couple of decades ago. Trench warfare, that's exactly what I've been waiting for. Upgrade immediately. Alright, it's time for us to test our brand new hypermobile troops in Tripolitania in a controlled local conflict. God damn it, why are the Prussians and the Brazilians here? Alright then, I guess we have to entrench in Brazil, bayonet charge in Tripolitania, and have a daring naval invasion in Spanish Auraf. All we have to do now is defend, and easy peasy, we're home by Ramadan. Exactly as planned. I didn't just describe the event events as they were happening? That would be ridiculous. The Conservatives managed to win again. You know what that means? Public healthcare. Classic Conservatives. Wait a minute, the British just lost India. Well, you know what they say, kick 'em while they're down. Alright, it's time for World War II, Electric Boogaloo, this time with Prussia, the Netherlands, and most importantly, America. Come on, George, tell us the truth.
They want the federal government controlling the Social Security, like it's some kind of federal program.
Now the British keep calling us terrorists. What say you, George?
I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
That was a great shot, George. Now I'm going to do everything in my power to win this once and for all. Alright guys, here's the plan. We invade Tunis, Egypt, establish complete control over the Arabian Peninsula, kick out the British out of Africa, gather our forces, knock out Persia out of the war, and be home by Ramadan. Public healthcare. Something tells me a lot of people are going to need it. Well, there you go guys, 74 Hamadan offensives is all that it takes for the British to finally surrender. What can I say guys, I'm something of a military genius. In fact, I believe it's about time for us to open a second front against the French. Alright, the British have been vanquished from the Middle East, and now we simply have to defeat the French and our country will be whole. Alright, here's the plan. We push out the French out of the entire African continent before we declare bankruptcy. As you can probably tell, the Chinese deal fell apart as the British stopped supplying us with opium and stuff because of the war thing. Personally, I disagree with such barbaric behavior. Just because we're killing each other on the battlefield is no excuse to stop doing business. Now don't get me wrong, we are working on a brand new Chinese deal. However, it only nets us a profit of 4,000 buccarinos, which is highly insufficient. However, once our textile mills start hiring people, we're gonna make hundreds of thousands once again. Now they might have some staff shortages, but it's not as if millions of my citizens died or anything. The economy is gonna be just fine. Promise. Oh no, the petite bourgeoisie got angry and took away all of their bureaucracy. Unfortunately, we're going to have to enact an ethno-state in order to keep our country afloat. That's a bit inconvenient, but it will buy us the time we need to kick out the French from the African continent, right before the anarchists. Man, this is becoming such a mess. Alright, we're going to sign a white peace with the French. I'm sorry guys, but our economy just can't take it. And the civil war definitely won't help. But still, once we repay all of our debt, which won't happen without bureaucracy, crap. Listen guys, money are not the important thing. The important thing is that we manage to maintain proper, moderate politics. Alright guys, now some of you might get the wrong impression. You know, investing in constant military conflicts can bankrupt your country or something. But that's not true. Look at George Bush. He didn't bankrupt America. I believe that the important thing to get from all of this is that sanctions are bad and you should definitely keep trading with your geopolitical rivals, otherwise they'll go bankrupt, and that's no fun for anyone. Remember guys, if your country is in dire financial struggle, the moderate choice is to steal as much money as you can, declare bankruptcy and escape to America. Until next time.